Magandang buhay mga bata! Tara, samahan ninyo akong matuto kasama si
Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell for more videos. Thank you! Matatag Curriculum, English Grade 5, Quarter 1, Lesson 4. Here's the topic for this week. Predicting characters' possible decisions or actions, drawing conclusions from story, and expressing conclusions and predictions. This is Teacher Aika, your online teacher. Let's start! Learning competencies and objectives. Deriving meaning from textual elements of a literary text. Making predictions and drawing conclusions. A. Predict characters' possible decisions or actions. B. Draw conclusions from story, events, and character interactions. And C. Express conclusions and predictions in a culturally and gender-sensitive and age-appropriate manner. Day 1. Let's have a short review. Guess what? Directions: listen to the title of the book, then look at the pictures to guess what you will see inside the book. Here's the first book. Where did all the fireflies go? Nasaan na ang mga alitaptap? Second book, The White Shoes. Share your ideas to your classmates. Where did all the fireflies go? Short background. This is a story about a young girl who wonders where all the fireflies have gone. As she reflects on the changes in nature, she learns about the importance of caring for the environment. Next, The White Shoes. Short background. This book follows a young girl who gets a beautiful new pair of white shoes. As she wears them, she experiences a range of emotions and learns about change, growth, and how things can get messy in life. Lesson purpose: read the following scenarios. Determine what event is likely to occur next. Explain your answer using textual evidence. Scenario number 1. During a camping trip, Christy and Joel find themselves lost in the forest after straying from the designated trail. Christy, an experienced hiker, reassures Joel that she knows the way back to the campsite. However, as dusk approaches, they realize they have been walking in circles. What event is most likely to occur next? Possible answer: they will stop walking and find a safe place to rest for the night. Textual evidence, clues from the story. They realize it's getting dark and they've been walking in circles, which means they need to stay safe until morning. Scenario number 2. At a board game night, Mary and Ross playfully compete in a game of strategy and skill. As the game progresses, tension builds between them, fueled by playful taunts and strategic moves. What event is most likely to occur next? Possible answer: one of them might get upset. or the game could turn into a serious argument. Textual evidence: the tension is building and they are using playful taunts, which could lead to hurt feelings. Scenario 3. During a school field trip to the zoo, Sophia and Liam spot a mischievous monkey swinging from tree to tree in the primate exhibit. The monkey seems to be eyeing the banana snacks in Sophia's backpack, much to her amusement and Liam's concern. What event is most likely to occur next? The monkey will try to grab the banana snacks. Textual evidence: the monkey is watching the backpack closely and seems very interested in the bananas. Scenario 4. During a craft session, Olivia and Ethan are making friendship bracelets for each other. As they weave colorful threads together, they discuss their favorite colors and designs, sharing stories of friendship and laughter. What event is most likely to occur next? They will finish their bracelets and give them to each other as a sign of friendship. Textual evidence: they are enjoying the activity and talking about their friendship, which shows they care about each other. Scenario 5. In a classroom, Lily and Max are looking out the window during English class. They notice dark clouds gathering in the sky and a few raindrops start to fall. What event is most likely to occur next? It will start raining heavily soon. Textual evidence: the sky is dark and it's starting to rain, which means a storm is probably coming. Unlocking content vocabulary. Familiarize yourselves with the following words. Prediction: a statement about what you think will happen in the future. Conclusion: the opinion or judgment you have after considering all the information about something. Textual evidence: proof from a text in order to prove that the information is true and accurate. Monster: any imaginary frightening creature, especially one that is large and strange. Tale: a story, especially one that might be invented or difficult to believe. Activity number 2. Directions: read the story and answer the questions that follow. The Loving Monster, A Heartwarming Tale by Mary Ross T. Castañares. One morning, the child woke up from his long sleep because of the hammering and banging on the veranda. He exited the bed, rubbed his eyes, and went downstairs to see where the sounds came from. As he neared the front door, he found his father squatting over a broken lawn mower. The boy was used to seeing things like this. His father was always fixing things. They could be a leaking roof or a broken appliance. He was a man of few words, or maybe he was not just interested. "Good morning, Father." Despite the noise and the early hour, Baste greeted his father pleasantly. His father gave a fleeting glance up. His look uncommunicative, before returning to his work without saying anything. Baste sighed and went into the kitchen to prepare breakfast. His father entered the room and wiped his hands with a rug. "Eat up and get ready for school," his father responded casually. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will eat and get ready for school. Textual evidence: "Eat up and get ready for school," his father said. The child nodded, used to his father's relaxed approach. He quickly completed his meal and went upstairs to prepare for the day. As he packed his books and backpack, he felt disappointed by his father's lack of interest in him. Despite his overwhelming emotion, Baste went to school. As he entered the room, he noticed his teacher carrying a poster. The billboard advertised tryouts for a school play, and they were looking for cast members. Baste's eyes widened with enthusiasm as the teacher described each character in detail. The teacher described a brave and daring hero leading the group on a mission to defend the kingdom from an evil sorcerer. Baste's heart beat with anticipation as he pictured himself as a hero, carrying a sword and confronting danger head-on. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will decide to join the school play. Textual evidence: Baste's eyes widened with enthusiasm as the teacher described each character in detail. Baste's heart beat with anticipation as he pictured himself as the hero. As the teacher continued to describe the other characters, Baste's mind raced with ideas. There was a wise old wizard, a crafty thief, a mighty warrior, and a caring princess. Each character possessed distinct characteristics, and Baste could not wait to bring them to life on stage. The teacher encouraged students to audition for any role play they were interested in, and Baste immediately decided that he wanted to play the monster, the story's central character. He spent the remainder of the day practicing his lines and honing his swordplay, hoping to please the casting directors. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will audition for the role of the monster in the play. Textual evidence: Baste immediately decided that he wanted to play the monster. He spent the remainder of the day practicing his lines. When audition day arrived, Baste stood uncomfortably before the casting panel. As he delivered his words with passion and conviction, a thrill of excitement circulated through his veins. Baste was overjoyed when the casting directors announced that he had been cast as the monster. The sessions were intense and challenging, but Baste embraced his role with passion and enthusiasm. He worked tirelessly on his performance, immersing himself in the play's atmosphere and bringing his character to life with each line he spoke. However, his delight quickly changed to concern when he realized that the costume required for the play was beyond his family's budget. Feeling discouraged, Baste confided in his cousin, who encouraged him to discuss his problems with his father. Baste reluctantly discussed his concerns with his father, expecting rejection or a scolding. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste's father will secretly help him by making the costume. Textual evidence: Baste reluctantly discussed his concerns with his father, expecting rejection or a scolding. This shows Baste shared his problem and something surprising might happen next. To his amazement, Baste's father listened intently but said nothing, convincing himself he could never participate in the play, and he went to sleep. That night, he could not believe what he witnessed: a large, dark shadow that resembled a monster working. It was barely a glimpse, yet it sent chills down his spine. "Who are you?" Baste yelled. "What do you want?" Baste shouted and was jolted awake by his father's hand. "Someone was on the veranda last night, father," Baste said, his eyes trying to persuade his father. His father responded indifferently, "Eat up and get ready for school." What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will see more of the shadow and begin to wonder if it's real or just a dream. Textual evidence: a large, dark shadow that resembled a monster working. It sent chills down his spine. This shows Baste is curious and scared, and the mystery will likely continue. On the second night, he saw more. The head was huge, with glaring red eyes that seemed to go straight through him. He could not take his gaze away from it, even if his instincts warned him to escape. The following day, Baste told his friend the story. "That's true. I asked him what he wanted, but he just said..." Baste began preparing to imitate the beast. "I am the guardian of this land," Baste talked in a deep, rumbling voice. "I protect it from those who would harm it," Baste added. "But where is it? Is it at your house right now? Can we see it?" Baste's friend said, still in astonishment. "Ah!" Baste sighed and remarked, "I didn't see him when I woke up this morning." "Maybe because it was just a dream," Baste's friend said, laughing at him. Baste was slightly annoyed by his friend since he did not trust his stories. But perhaps he was simply dreaming. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will question whether the monster is real or just a dream, but will keep seeing it. Textual evidence: Baste was likely annoyed by his friend since he did not trust his stories, but perhaps he was simply dreaming. This shows Baste is unsure and continues to wonder if the monster is real. Baste was slightly annoyed by his friend since he did not trust his stories, but perhaps he was simply dreaming. For the third time, he glimpsed its body. It was big and muscular, with sharp claws capable of tearing through anything in its path. He felt a sense of horror sweep over him as he understood how powerful this thing was. But he remembered what it had said about his noble quest. "But why do you appear so frightening? Why do you scare people away?" Baste enthusiastically asked the creature. "Baste, these are not your lines. You are daydreaming again," his teacher observed, patting his shoulder. They were practicing for the play. By the fourth night, he noticed it moving. It was slow and systematic, and each stride caused tremors. He could hear its heavy breathing, like a beast about to pounce on its prey. "No, you're not real! Stop scaring me!" Baste murmured to himself before closing his eyes and falling asleep. As time passed, the monster became more prominent in his memory. He understood that he needed to act quickly before it was too late. But while he stood there, watching the monster working in the shadows, he could not help but worry if it was genuinely protecting them or if it would eat them soon. But he knew he could not beat it. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will finally realize the truth about the monster and his father's involvement. Textual evidence: the monster became more prominent in his memory. This suggests Baste is starting to make connections and the truth about the monster might soon be revealed. He awoke one morning and blinked his eyes several times, attempting to make sense of what he had seen. A creature stood before him. Its sharp teeth glinted in the dawn light, and its claws were dangerous. He screamed, his heart racing in his chest. But then he spotted his father. He was holding the creature with amusement on his face. "What are you doing, father? You scared me half to death," screamed the child, relief washing over him as he grasped the truth. His father chuckled slightly but did not want to cross his emotions as he placed down the monster costume. His father responded casually, "Eat up and get ready for school. We will bring your costume for your dress rehearsal." His father smiled and added, Baste had no idea that the shadow he saw was his father, who was working feverishly on his play costume. Night after night, Baste's father worked hard, cutting and sewing fabric to bring the monster man to life. 2 weeks before the play, Baste was astounded to see the costume his father had mightily made for him, with tears in his eyes. Baste hugged his father warmly, moved by the act of love and sacrifice. Finally, the day of the performance came. As Baste waited backstage in his homemade outfit, he experienced a wave of confidence and gratitude. What event is most likely to occur next? Baste will perform in the play and make his father proud. Textual evidence: Baste was astounded to see the costume his father had mightily made for him, with tears in his eyes. Baste hugged his father warmly, moved by the act of love and sacrifice. This suggests that Baste will feel deeply grateful and confident as he prepares to perform, showcasing his father's love and support. As the curtains were drawn back, Baste entered the stage, his eyes wide with astonishment. The set was a lovely forest, with shimmering lights and vibrant flowers covering the stage. Baste took a big breath and started reciting his lines. His voice loud and clear, the story of the loving monster unfolded in front of the audience, telling of friendship and bravery. Baste's performance was captivating. His movements were graceful, and his expressions were convincing. The audience was intrigued and hung on to his every word. The play was a huge success with laughter, acclaim, and steadfast support from his family and community. Baste's heart swelled with pride as he played the role of the loving monster, bringing delight to everyone who watched. As a result, the story of the loving monster became a village legend, representing resilience, kindness, and the power of love. Baste discovered that sometimes the greatest monsters are not those who fear, but those who love us unconditionally and support us through life's difficulties. As the performance ended, Baste realized he would always have a loving monster leading him through life's ups and downs. And full of gratitude, Baste said a silent thank you to his father, the real hero of his narrative. So what event is most likely to occur next? Baste will continue to feel grateful and cherish his relationship with his father. Textual evidence: as the performance ended, Baste realized he would always have a loving monster leading him through life's ups and downs. And, full of gratitude, Baste said a silent thank you to his father, the real hero of his narrative. This shows that Baste acknowledges his father's love and sacrifices, understanding the true master is the one who supports him unconditionally. Day 3. Activity number 3, Mr. and Miss Q&A. Instructions: answer the following questions. Start your answer with the phrase, I believe. 1. How does Baste's father typically respond to him in the morning? And how does Baste feel about this? Answer: Baste's father usually answers him in a quiet, short way, like telling him to eat and get ready for school. Baste feels a little sad and lonely because his father doesn't talk to him much or show interest. Evidence: Baste sighed and went into the kitchen to prepare breakfast. His father entered the room and wiped his hands with a rag. Eat up and get ready for school, his father responded casually. 2. Why does Baste decide to audition for the role of the monster in the school play? Answer: Baste decides to audition for the monster because he thinks it would be exciting to play a big, important character and show how brave and strong the monster is. Evidence, his teacher described a brave and daring hero leading the group on a mission. Baste immediately decided that he wanted to play the monster, the story's central character. 3. What challenges does Baste face in preparing for the play, and how does he overcome them? Answer: Baste has trouble because his family can't afford the costume for the play. He feels worried, but his father secretly makes the costume for him, which helps Baste participate in the play. Evidence, however, his delight quickly changed to concern when he realized that the costume required for the play was beyond his family's budget. Baste reluctantly discussed his concerns with his father. 4. Describe Baste's initial reaction to seeing the monster inside his house at night. How does his perception of the monster change over time? Answer: At first, Baste is scared when he sees the monster because it looks big and scary. But later, he understands that the monster is not dangerous and is actually there to protect him just like his father. Evidence: he could hear its heavy breathing like a beast about to pounce on its prey. Baste murmured to himself, "No, you're not real. Stop scaring me." 5. How does Baste's friend react when he tells him about seeing the monster? How does this reveal about Baste's relationship with his friend? Answer: Baste's friend laughs and doesn't believe him, saying it was just a dream. This shows that Baste's friend doesn't trust what he is saying and doesn't understand his feelings. Evidence: maybe because it was just a dream, Baste's friend said, laughing at him. 6. How does Baste's father demonstrate his love and support for him throughout the story, especially as regards the school play? Answer: Baste's father shows his love by secretly making the costume for him. He works hard to make sure Baste can be in the play even though he doesn't say much. Evidence: Baste had no idea that the shadow he saw was his father, who was working feverishly on his play costume. 7. Discuss the significance of the monster costume that Baste's father makes for him. How does it symbolize their relationship and the theme of love in the story? Answer: The monster costume shows how much Baste's father loves him, even though his father doesn't always talk about his feelings. He shows his love by making the costume, which helps Baste feel loved and supported. Evidence: 2 weeks before the play, Baste was astounded to see the costume his father had mightily made for him. With tears in his eyes, Baste hugged his father warmly, moved by the act of love and sacrifice. 8. What lessons does Baste learn from his experience with the school play and his father's involvement? How does this impact his understanding of family and support? Answer: Baste learns the love can be shown in different ways. His father may not talk a lot, but he shows love through actions. This helps Baste understand that family supports you, even when they don't say much. Evidence: as the performance ended, Baste realized he would always have a loving monster leading him through life's ups and downs. And full of gratitude, Baste said a silent thank you to his father, the real hero of his narrative. Day 4. Learners' takeaways. Draw a symbol that would reflect your takeaways on the lesson and the story you read. Write 3 sentences explaining your drawing. Formative assessment. Instructions. Read the following questions and answer them based on your predictions and conclusions. 1. What if Baste had never decided to audition for the school play? How could his life have been different? Answer. If Baste had never auditioned for the school play, he might have missed the chance to feel proud of himself. He wouldn't have gotten the chance to see how much his father cared for him. And he may not have learned that love can be shown in actions, not just words. 2. What if Baste's father had not been able to make the monster costume for him? How might Baste have felt? And how might the story have unfolded differently? Answer. If Baste's father couldn't make the costume, Baste might have felt disappointed, sad, and frustrated because he wouldn't have been able to participate in the play. The story might have ended with Baste not performing, and he may have felt left out or like his dreams weren't possible. 3. What if Baste's father had revealed his efforts to make the monster costume for him earlier in the story? How might this have affected Baste's feelings and motivations leading up to the performance? Answer. If Baste's father had told him earlier about making the costume, Baste might have felt more loved and supported. He would have felt more motivated and excited to perform in the play, knowing his father was working hard for him. 4. What if Baste had encountered challenges or obstacles during the actual performance of the play? How might he have responded, and how might this have influenced the audience perception of his character? Answer. If Baste had faced problems during the play, like forgetting his lines or making a mistake, he would have had to stay calm and keep going. The audience would have seen that Baste was brave and determined, and this could have made them admire his character even more. 5. What if the school play had not been successful? Or if Baste's performance had not been well received by the audience? How might this have impacted Baste's feelings of accomplishment and his relationships with his family and classmates? Answer. If the play hadn't been successful or Baste's performance wasn't good, he might have felt disappointed or embarrassed. It could have made him feel less proud of himself, and he might have worried that his family and friends didn't participate or appreciate his hard work. Maraming salamat sa panonood! Huwag kalimutang i-like at mag-subscribe para sa higit pang educational content. I-click ang bell icon para ma-update ka sa ating mga bagong video. Salamat!